I'd like to call the March 19th Board of Adjustment meeting to order. And before we get started, I'll read the Board of Adjustment introduction. Hearings before the Board of Adjustment are quasi-judicial in nature. Decisions of the board are based on the record of these proceedings. To grant a variance requires a concurrent vote of 4/5 of the members of the board. To reverse or modify the determination of an administrative official requires a simple majority. Evidence submitted to the board for review becomes part of the record. Appeals of board decisions are to Superior Court and are based on the record. Appeals must be filed within 30 days of the date of the filing of the board's order in the Planning Division. The hearing before the board is conducted in accordance with its rules of procedure. Those who want to testify in a case are sworn as witnesses. The chairperson recognizes those who want to testify or their attorneys for presentation of evidence during the hearing. To ensure that all testimony is properly recorded, please come forward to address the board, state your name and address, and speak clearly. At this time, we'll swear in anyone that wishes to speak.
If I could have all staff, applicants, and members of the public to please stand up and raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Thank you. The first order of business before the board today is to approve the revised minutes as presented from our February 19th meeting. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. Jim
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. First order of business is new business, which is 4230 Masonboro Loop Road, presented by Brian Chambers.
Good afternoon. The first and only item for this afternoon is a waiver from the Conservation Resource Standards for a water-dependent structure at 4320 Masonboro Loop Road. The site contains approximately 1.68 acres and contains a single dwelling home. It's also adjacent to some coastal wetlands and along the tidal creek, which is Whiskey Creek. The property owner partially constructed a steel pile sill to establish some shoreline protection here. A CAMA permit was issued for this, but the applicant did not get any city approvals for this. So a stop work order was issued by the city in November, and this item's coming before you to rectify that situation. These are the four findings that you must consider when we're looking at this waiver request. One, the property has identified erosional problem or unusual features. The decision on coastal management has documented the need for the shoreline stabilization. The shoreline stabilization measure extends beyond the buffer no more than necessary. This one's in the water, so this one doesn't apply. And then the fourth would be the shoreline stabilization measure will not significantly impair the public trust rights or damage adjacent waterfront properties. And this would be impacting the navigation channel, that kind of thing. Here are some photos of the shoreline and on the top, and then on the bottom are some photos of the existing structure as it sits today. Again, this is a waiver for the erosion control device within the resource area. That concludes staff's presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have, and I would request that the application materials be entered into the record.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to ask one question. You said item number 3, the finding of fact number 3 doesn't apply?
That is correct. It's not, the buffer would extend into the property from the resource. This is actually in the resource. This is in the water.
Oh, okay.
So that wouldn't apply. It would be for if you put like a bulkhead inside, like on the property to put fill behind it, that couldn't be extended any closer to the resource, to the water, to the wetlands than absolutely necessary. But since this is in the water, that one wouldn't apply here.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any further questions?
And forgive me, Chair, I'm not sure to whom this question should go. In terms of findings of fact number 1 that we see here on our screen, who needs to show the identifiable erosion problem? Does the city have an opinion on that, or will the applicant provide that info? Thank you.
This is going to be based on the evidence you have in front of you. We have the pictures that we provided in this application and in this presentation, and then the applicant is here to answer any other questions about what the existing conditions are, what measures have been taken to stop this erosion problem.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anything further? Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Is the applicant here for a presentation?
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Workman. I'm the owner at 4230 Masonboro Loop Road. I've been dealing with this erosion since 2013, and I think if we got to the first picture, you can see the actual boundary and the extent of the erosion. And that's from ArcGIS, and it shows that peninsula is eroded quite a bit. And that would answer your question as far as the erosion, but it has been documented since 2013 with CAMA, and the freestanding sill wall was something that they recommended for that situation, along with riprap on both ends.
Sir, could you put the microphones down just a little bit?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Other than that, any further questions?
Thank you. And if we could go back to the findings of fact with respect to this sort of case, number 4, and this may go back to the city, so forgive me if I miss. In terms of either navigation or neighboring properties, to what extent, if any, might they be impacted by this particular measure? Thank you, sir.
Yes, good question. Good question. The CAMA was out there and they staked out where the wall could actually go. So they definitely wouldn't let me go anywhere into the waterway, but that was determined by their staking. So the wall was not to impair the right-of-way or transit.
I think as far as staff's response to this, we have to rely on CAMA to identify where the navigation channel is. So we would just point to where they allowed this structure to be located outside of kind of the outside bend of that channel as it comes around the corner. Again, I can only point to what CAMA has done and the pictures that have been provided.
All right, thank you both.
Yes, sir.
One other question for the applicant is the partially built structures that are there now before the stoppage. What would the new construction extend what is partially built now, or would it replace what's there now?
No, the current permit that I have with CAMA only allows for 56 feet of the sill wall. It's a freestanding sill wall, and that it's at 54 feet, so it will be no larger than what the pictures show.
So are we being asked to approve what is already built, essentially?
Correct. Yes, and it's consistent with the permitting that was allowed by CAMA. So that distance of 50, they allowed 56 feet, I built 54 feet, just because that's the way the material worked out.
Yeah, the material just.
There are two things, the CAMA permit's required, but also approval from the city of Wilmington's required. And that's why the stoppage was issued,
I see.
because the city of Wilmington approval was not in place. So we're here for the variance request.
So is the riprap that's supposed to be there already there? I mean, all of that's done?
No,
Okay.
I think there's 2 months left on a 3-month permit from CAMA.
Okay.
And the construction of that riprap would need to be done.
I see. Okay, thank you.
If I could jump in here, CAMA has kind of paused their clock on this to allow them to go through this process. So I'm not exactly sure on the time, but they've paused it to allow them to come into compliance with the city before moving forward. It's my understanding that there will be modifications needed to that sill as it's built. I think there's a portion of it that might be too tall because the idea is the water goes over the top of it at high tide. There's also supposed to be separations in there to let water pass through the structure, and then the riprap would be located on the back side of it. Again, that would be, if this is approved, then I believe the applicant would just move forward with making this comply with CAMA's requirements.
That's what I say, those requirements would need to be approved through CAMA.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And if perhaps for the chair or the city, so forgive me, it's both the wall as it currently stands plus the riprap that we are, that the variance would apply to, sir?
The entire erosion control measure includes the sill, the steel piles, the steel pile sill, the post, and the riprap.
And the riprap, thank you, sir.
We're the variance is to grant what CAMA has authorized.
In addition to Mr. Chambers' statement about the wall is not completed to the standards yet because of the stop work order of the statues of, I think they're labeled on the material that was presented. The general statutes that apply for this, for the riprap and the sill wall, will be adhered to. There's wordage in there about the height, and there is some gappage in there, and it is correct that it's supposed to allow the free flow of water through there, and it will once it's completed.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, we may have further questions, but thank you. Now we're going to open the evidentiary hearing. If anyone has evidence to present that's pertinent to this case, they can step forward. Seeing there's nobody else in here, we will close the evidentiary hearing. Is there anything else from the city?
No, sir.
Okay. Anything else from the applicant? Okay. We'll open up for discussion in the board. You know, I don't ever like to see fixed structures, but you know, CAMA's the expert here, and they did issue a permit for this back in 2013, and the erosion hasn't gotten any better. It's gotten a little bit worse, and they reissued the permit now. So, you know, in my mind, based on what CAMA's done in 2013 and in 2025, this is a thing that they deem as necessary. So.
I agree that with the implication that the 4 findings have been met in this instance by the applicant. Thank you.
Yeah, I would just clarify that since the third doesn't apply, the 3 that do apply have been met.
And the bulkhead will meet CAMA's requirements as permitted, so.
I would agree. I'd like to make a motion to approve this as presented.
Based on the 3 findings of fact.
Based on 3 out of 4 findings of fact that are applicable.
I would second that motion.
We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. You're welcome. Well, I don't see any other business before the Board of Adjustment, so if nothing else is there, we are adjourned.